Okay, so can you swim when you have Achilles tendinopathy or tendonitis? Yeah, you can, definitely. And it's a brilliant way to keep your fitness if you have injured your Achilles. There are a few things to keep in mind because there are certain things that can sometimes flare our patients up. And I'll share those tips with you in this video. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Maryke. I'm one of the physiotherapists from treatmyachilles.com, where you can get online physiotherapy assessment as well as treatment for your Achilles injuries. Have a look at the description of this video if you want a link to our website. Okay, so the first thing to understand is that this advice may not be needed or may not even apply to you if you've got Achilles tendonitis or tendinopathy, because it all depends on how sensitive yours is. So don't feel that you have to listen to all of this. Check if things are hurting in the pool. If it feels fine to swim in your normal way, just go for it. However, there are certain things that can make it feel worse. And the first is, if your tendon is quite sensitive and you kick off the wall. So remember, the Achilles tendon works when your calf muscle contracts and pushes your toes down. So if you push against the wall, that's quite an explosive movement for the Achilles. And that can sometimes irritate people's tendons. So a way to get around it is some of my patients just kick off with one leg. Others just tend to turn around, slow way, just don't kick off. Or others still just find they don't kick as hard. So have a look. If your tendon is hurting after you've swum, it may be one of the reasons. Then the second is, if you're playing with the kids in the pool, or you just have you like to get into the pool quite quickly and you jump into the pool on the shallow end, so there's not a lot of water in that side to take your weight, that can actually irritate your tendon because the jumping action really loads the tendon. It's quite a hard action for it. So have a look at that. If you have a tendency to jump into the shallow end, it may be part of the reason. On that note, sometimes people have weird habits to warm up or just play around in the water. So if you're standing in the water and you're jumping up, hopping up and down on your toes in it, that can irritate your tendon. So possibly stop doing that if it's not part of your rehab. It depends on your rehab and where you are with that. If you have a bursitis in combination with your Achilles tendinopathy, so bursitis, you've got a little bursa, or actually a couple of bursas around the heel bone, and they are between your Achilles tendon and your heel bone, and they're meant to stop friction. But sometimes they can get inflamed and painful, and if you do a lot of vigorous kicking, it can irritate it further because it just rubs it a little bit. Also, insertional tendinopathies don't do that well with wild kicking. So if you fall into one of those categories, it may be useful to use a pull buoy, one of those float devices, between your legs so that you don't have to kick too much. And then lastly, if we think of swimming with fins in the pool, if the fins are going to push directly on the painful area, that may be one of the reasons why you feel worse when you get out of the pool. So keep that in mind. Brilliant. Hope you found this useful. And remember, if you need more help with your injuries, you're welcome to consult one of us via video call. The link to treat my Achilles is in the description of this video. Take care.